Hi, it's Nate Charles, and welcome back to the Rule of Law Brief. Let's begin with a point of agreement. Yes, Barack Obama deported more people than Donald Trump. That is a documented fact. The numbers do not lie. The question is not whether that statistic is true. The question is what it proves. Many Trump supporters repeat that figure as though it exposes some sort of democratic hypocrisy or proves that immigration enforcement only became serious under Trump. In reality, it proves neither. It demonstrates the opposite. It shows that large-scale enforcement was legally possible and operationally functional before Trump ever took office. If your political identity is built around the claim that Trump was the toughest immigration enforcer in modern history, then the fact that he deported fewer people than Obama is not a boast. It's an indictment. Enforcement strength is measurable. If deportation numbers are the metric, then outcomes matter. An administration that promised mass removals but produced fewer removals than its predecessor did not outperform the system. It drastically underperformed it. The gap between the deportation statistics under Obama and Trump reflects a basic reality. Trump and the officials around him fundamentally misunderstood how immigration law actually worked in practice. He appeared to believe that he could increase removals simply by talking tough, expanding ICE, conducting large-scale raids, and confining people in concentration camps long enough to put them on flights out of the country. That assumption ignored the most elementary constitutional constraint on executive power. Detention is not removal. Custody does not erase due process. Under the Fifth Amendment, individuals physically present in the United States are entitled to notice, a hearing before an immigration judge, the opportunity to apply for statutory relief, and judicial review. These are not optional technicalities. They are constitutional requirements. The Immigration and Nationality Act did not suddenly become enforceable in 2017. It had existed for decades, and it had been functioning just fine. The removal authority was there. Immigration courts were there. The statutory framework governing deportability and relief was intact. The higher deportation numbers under Obama proved that the machinery was capable of operating at scale when managed competently within constitutional boundaries. Instead of aligning enforcement strategy with court capacity and statutory limits, the Trump administration ran itself into injunctions, bottlenecks, and competent judicial intervention. Immigration judges were placed under significant performance pressure, including numerical case completion quotas that many viewed as incompatible with careful, independent adjudication. Morale within the Executive Office of Immigration Review declined sharply. A number of experienced immigration judges simply resigned or retired rather than operate in an environment they believed risks compromising judicial independence or constitutional due process. That fact seems to be rarely discussed, but it is critical. You cannot deport someone without a legally valid removal order issued by an immigration judge, and you cannot generate removal orders without functioning independent courts staffed by judges willing to remain on the bench. When adjudicative capacity shrinks because judges leave or dockets become unmanageable, removal capacity shrinks with it. The United States is not a monarchy. It's a constitutional republic. A president cannot detain first and worry about the legalities of it later. He cannot bypass hearings through force of personality. He cannot treat judicial review as an inconvenience. When executive action exceeds statutory and constitutional limits, the courts intervene. That's not weakness. That's their job. So yes, Obama deported more people than Trump. You're right. That's true. What that statistic demonstrates is not suppressed enforcement under Obama or any Democratic presidential administration. What it shows is structural mismanagement under the Trump administration. Immigration enforcement succeeds through legal competence and institutional discipline. It fails when it's treated as a spectacle. The upshot here is not that the Democrats have been against lawful immigration enforcement. It's that Trump just doesn't know what he's doing.